Hola.
Hola, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little better.
Okay.
There's still a lot of noise, but I don't think there's anything we can do.
Yeah.
Puerto Ricans are so loud. My God.
I know. Yeah, no, it's just I'm rehearsing a show. And
Great. So much going on.
yeah, I'm rehearsing a show at so it's at 8:30. So that's why I'm here, because I'm closer to
Okay.
the theater is. Last time I didn't have any rehearsal, so that's why I did it from home.
Okay.
Got it.
All right.
So, it's just, for me, it's putting numbers, putting everything down. For me, it's always like a reality check of okay, this is what it to do stuff. Like, I have, I don't know if you know this, but like my family, when I'm not working a lot, I do get help from my family, from my parents. So I have like my mom, she's like I don't know how to say it in English, not mecena. People that they just give money to artists just to do their work.
Oh, patron.
Patron? Yeah, correct. So that's my mom. So I'm really fortunate.
You're still breaking up on me. I don't know why. Wait, let me move. Maybe it's me. When you logged on, did you make sure you had the most recent version?
No.
Okay, that may be it. Either that or the internet connection there is sluggish. The top?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
I may need you to mute me and call in. Because I can see your face, but you're talking on the phone.
Okay.
Just dial up the number that's on the
Yeah, we can do that. Sorry, what's your number?
It's the number that's on the email I sent you. In order to dial into this call, there's a 1-800 number. I'll show you. Hold on.
Okay, there it is.
You found it?
Or telephone 1646 or iPhone 1 tab.
I might have to give you a number so you don't have to pay for it.
No sé, eso depende. No sé, depende de que llegue casi a las 4. Depende, tengo que le diga que manejar.
Why don't you text me your number? Why don't you
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Será para siempre. buenas pagas. Sí, seguro que va mal. Demasiado. Sí.
Is your number 917-342-1024?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling you.
Hello.
Hello, Modesto. Okay, that's then you should be there on the screen. Okay, okay. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me now? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Woo! Technology. Hello, country to country. Okay. All right. So you were saying that your mother is a Sena?
Yeah, and you know, I haven't done that exercise more frequently because I have that support, so I'm not concerned about what I have to pay or not. Hey, Garland.
Hey, Garland. Oh, Lord. We got car in the class. Class in the car now. Oh, Lord.
I'm just checking in. I'm just checking in to apologize. I'm not going to stay. I just wanted to apologize because I've got my elderly 90-year-old aunt in the CBS, and I got to run around. I thought I wasn't going to be allowed this week, so that's why I told her I would come up, and I hadn't been there in a week and a half. So,
Did you see my email?
The reply to me, or
The email that said, you've been emailing me all day. Stop talking to me. I'll see you next week.
no, I did not see that. I did not see that. I did not see that. Okay, I'm going to stop talking to you. I just looked and I didn't see it. I just looked to see if there was a reply, but
But you've been emailing me all day, like we live in the same house.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell the problem with the damn. Well, you saw. Did you see the movie? Did you see the movie?
Garland, if I sat around reading my clients' emails and videos all day, I'd never get anything done.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to prove to you that I was clicking yes. Okay.
I love you, Beth. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Modesto, I need a Santa too. Jesus, that's amazing. Damn. Okay. No, I said I need a Santa too. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I have that like doing this now that I'm like looking to a new house. I'm about to get married. Like it's very helpful for me. That reality check on what I have to do to like earn money to move forward with stuff that I want to do.
Yep. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So did you figure out what your hourly rate should be?
I was looking at the book, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I heard
Okay.
like formula to do it, and I
The sample dreamline. Okay, it's the sample dreamline. It's this.
yeah,
Okay, is it too crazy complicated? This is what I want you to work on for next week. Okay, because what it asks of you to do is to create a list of everything you want to do in the next year, and then everything you want to do in the next 5 years. And then you create a budget for how much it's going to cost to do each of those things, right? Including a salary for yourself, your cost of living. I mean, you did the timeline sheet to help you figure out what your cost of living is. The dream line is about all the projects that you want to do, how much money and time it's going to take to do them. So, for example, you should write this down now while we're talking. So what are 5 things you want to accomplish in the next year? Get married. What else? You want to do what?
I want to move to LA, to Los Angeles.
Okay, I saw that. Write that down. What festival favorite is? Then you have to figure out your budget of how much it will cost. This is what a producer does. To fly you to the festival, house you for 3 or 4 days, take meetings, and come back. That has to be in your budget. For each festival. Plus the submission cost of the festival.
One of my goals to I have 2 friends that we're collaborating with my hometown mayor.
Okay.
She's gonna give us a space, like a couple of rooms, so we can do whatever we want. Basically, the first thing we want to do is to create what we have a radio station.
Okay.
That's not my budget, it's not my money, but I'm gonna be one of the one of the people in charge of doing that and creating it.
How much time is that going to demand of you?
I'm sorry?
How much time is that going to demand of you?
We're about to find out. We're having a meeting this Friday. And we're gonna, of course, set out what needs to be done. I don't think I know. It's gonna take me more time because one of the our three.
Okay. So I'm going to your email. Move to LA. Get married. Submit screen short film at 3 festivals. Build a radio station with the team. ¿Y qué más? You and your wife? Traveling where? Oh my God, you need a lot of money in London. Okay. How long? Okay, and what time of the year? Okay. Okay. Okay, that should be good and expensive. For how long? Two weeks. Okay. Do you have American Express? Do you have an American Express? Okay. I want you to give thought to getting another American Express because you could make travel almost free with American Express. Like I have shifted all of my expenses to my American Express so that what I do is I pay my phone bill, I pay my electricity, I put my Amazon, I pay all my IMDb, everything goes on Amex. And then as I go, I just pay Amex every time I spend. So instead of it going directly from my debit card, I use Amex so that I accrue, and you get the Amex card that accrues the most points. And I have found that in business, it's saving me. Like when you do the Amex and you have lots of points, you can get Broadway theater tickets. You can get airline. You can use Amex points for anything. So it makes your money go farther. So I used to just have my business on it. Now I put everything on it. And Amex gives you a daily accounting if you want of how much money you're spending. It's really kind of fantastic. And you link it to your checking account. And if you don't want to carry a balance, as soon as you make a purchase, you just pay for it right there online. It takes 2 seconds. I mean, I had it for like a month and I got like 15,000 points from just doing nothing, just grocery shopping. And I was like, okay, that's a round trip ticket to Miami, or that's a 1-week car rental at Hertz, which for me going home, I need that because my family's in Miami. And Miami's always such a haul because I have to rent a car. And all my business meals and all that stuff, Amex, and they give you a report at the end of the year so you don't have to think about it when you do taxes. They'll just be like, these are your business expenses, write this off. It's kind of amazing. And you can just like take your Excel file from Amex and send it to the IRS. It's fantastic. I was like, whoa, this is so much free stuff. It was actually my stepmother who was like, your credit is amazing right now. You need to get rid of the visas and you need to move to Amex and you need to put everything on Amex. She's like, you shouldn't be paying for travel. You shouldn't be paying for luxury. Anything that's luxury, you shouldn't be paying for. I was like, really? She's like, yes. And you can take the option to get cash back, or you can take the option to get points. I prefer points. It's more money. I have cash back on my MasterCard. That's foolishness. But the points, and you can get the everyday credit card. You can keep a low balance. Like I intentionally keep a low balance of $3,000. I don't want to ever be spending too much more than that, like to play with. Otherwise I screw with my savings. But it's saving me money in the long haul. Especially if you want to travel and you're going to have a lot of business expenses. You're going to have travel to these festivals. You're going to have to rent space for a meeting maybe, or print shit out, or like you're going to have a lot of expenses. So moving things to Amex, which will turn into other points, like when you buy from office supplies, from Staples, and what's the other place? I think it's FedEx. What now? Okay, so when you shop at those places, they double the points that you accrue on Amex. So it's worth it. Ultimately, it would be a way, and it's something that we're doing with Simon Says, so that we don't pay to send actors to festivals when we have a film. We shouldn't be paying for that and housing them, because that is incredibly expensive. because every city knows, oh, we have a film festival. We're going to jack up our prices, even the Airbnb. And you need your actors staying close to wherever the venue is. Like Sundance, thousands of dollars. Like it's so exorbitantly expensive. I mean, I was like, we just want Isai Morales and Judy. What is the deal? Why is that cost us $15,000 for 4 days? I was like, it's outrageous. It's really Toronto, very expensive film festival. Berlin is just, it's so expensive. So we were able to write off tickets on Amex, which was that saved us so much money. And we flew our talent first class. So Amex is a good investment in your business, and it's taken all over the world. And there's so many, like, you lose your Amex card, you lose your Amex, checks, traveler's checks. You can go anywhere, right? They'll vouch for your identification if you lose your passport. Like, when you're an artist and you're traveling all over the world, Amex is a really good investment to have. There's no place it's not taken, and people can't steal your money. Then I was in Spain, not a good place to be as a single person, because pickpocketing in Spain is huge. Okay, and my client, Mandy, is there right now, and I love the Madrid Film Festival. I told her to submit. She won Best Actress there. But I made her put that a part of her budget. And I was like, and your tickets to Madrid, since you're coming straight from New York, should be on the Amex. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah, because they're being really expensive from New York. Unless you go from London or Paris to Madrid, mad cheap. So I always tell people, when you're booking festivals, try to go through London. Try and take the Indian Airlines. I know it sounds crazy, but the Indian Airlines are crazy cheap. Like, so cheap. And you get Indian food on the plane. But they're like, I went to South Africa for $800. Like, they're crazy cheap. But you stop in London. So if you fly to London, you can get a ticket for $400 from New York. And then you get a ticket to Berlin or to Madrid for less than $200. It like ends up being cheaper all the way around. It's kind of incredible. And you can book the travel on Amex's website, which is also amazing. Like, it just makes your life as a business person so much easier, and free travel. And I told Mandy, because she's premiering her film, Pick Up There now. She's in Madrid now. I was like, no cash. No cash. Do not carry cash. Pickpocketing is a thing in Spain. Do not carry cash. Don't put your purse on the chip. Just don't carry cash. And put your iPhone in an inside pocket, because iPhones are hot. And she was like, yeah. They went to the company, her and the director went to see flamenco dancing, and of course somebody was pickpocketed. And she's like, my coach told me to get American Express. I didn't get pickpocketed. And I was like, that's right. No cash in Madrid. I didn't carry cash in Barcelona. And iPhones are like, people will stop you. Do you have an iPhone? It makes you a target. And film festivals, people love to rob people at film festivals. Film festivals and museums. They're like, oh my God, I love your iPhone. Because our stuff in the States and Puerto Rico, we get the newest first. So the Japanese and the Italians are looking at you like you're a steak. So keep your iPhone not in a bag, but close to you. People will ask to hold it and look at it too. I'm like, I'm still paying for this $1,000 phone, so nobody touches it. But for your travel, so we're going to say that we're going to get an Amex sometime really soon, and you're going to start putting all your wedding expenses on it so that you can write off travel. I would like for you, just looking at this, between the 3 festivals, and who are you traveling? You and who else? Yeah, it's a short film. It's a short film. And what cities? want to see your short film. And you got to get it into Sundance by November, right? It's like crazy. It's like October. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, because you have to put it in, and then they give you notes back if they're going to accept you. And so you submit, they have it for like 3 or 4 weeks. They send you back notes. Oh, you need to take your color correct to this place. We like this place better. It means that they want to take you. But then after you get their notes, you have like this really tight window of 14 days to take the notes and get them a final film. Like, it is insane. And you should know that. But if they love it, they will help you. They'll be like, okay, we want you to go to Offline Hollywood in San Francisco. All you have to do is fly yourself there. We'll get the color correct done for like $2,000. Like, they will help you, but they do not give you any time. Like, you have to make that final time, and they are going to give you notes. They are going to be like, you need to fix this, 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 and this. And I'll look at the film. If I love it and I can pitch it to my team, we can make a call to Sundance and get it in. Is it subtitled? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have to get it subtitled. That's hilarious. You have to get it subtitled though. It's fine. That's not as sexy as it is in Spanish though. Yeah. Yeah, because we had Gun Hill Road translated into Spanish to sell to international markets. We had our movie Gun Hill Road, we had it subtitled before we went to the festival. It helped us sell the film quicker. Also, if I'm going to sell the film to my team, none of them speak Spanish. So I could sit there and watch it and be like, blah, and then they'll be like, so we need subtitles. It's important. You don't even have to have the final name of the film yet, but you need subtitles in order for me to sell it, because that's how we make decisions at Simon Says, right? It comes through me. I go, oh, this is something we should look at, or absolutely fucking not. This is something we should look at. Everybody looks at it. Then we meet, and then we talk about whether or not we can sell it. We talk about whether or not we should pick up the phone and call Ann Lau at Sundance and be like, you have to see this. Or whether we use our Berlin contact, or whether we use our sales rep to like push the film to not only get it into the festival, but get it into particular categories where it'll get awarded, because not all the categories are awarded. And, you know, if I can sell it to the team, which I've done pretty successfully, it really helps if we pick up the phone, because what happens with Sundance is once you've been to Sundance, what they do is every year they come back to you and go, hey, do you guys have anything that you love that we should look at? We should just take it to the festival. And we're like, because we were working with, you know Adel Morales, right? The filmmaker. Okay, I was working with him. I adore Adel. Trying to get his film into Sundance. We had some problems with the writing and it didn't happen. I worked with him for about 1.5 years. But the process of working with him and giving him notes, and then we were like, okay, Sundance has asked us for something, people of color, in this genre, thriller. Can you get it ready? What he had to do to apply for, it's a program called Catalyst. And every year we send 2 projects. It's not advertised. You can't apply for it. It has to be a fellow, meaning an alumni of Sundance that's bringing it. And they take the filmmaker and you go meet with 20 investors and you talk about your film and you pitch it. And then they decide whether or not they're going to give you money or if they're going to get you a sales rep, like they decide. And then those films that are in Catalyst, they go to Sundance without a doubt. So a lot of Sundance is like, I won't say it's rigged, but it's set up for them to get the best material in the country or in the world right now. That because they stay connected to work that they loved and the creators of that work. But even though Adele didn't get in, the process of us working with him to get that application looking like it should clarified so much for him. I was like, Adele, this is what needs to happen. And he was like, oh. And I was like, great. And I made him add all this Santeria to his script. I was like, my people love this. Come on, Adele. He was like, I had to send him to Jadelle. I was like, what you mean you don't know about Santeria? What kind of Puerto Rican are you? Come on now. Like, you got like a black man standing at the corner with a cigar. Don't you know that's what it means? He was like, I don't know. I was like, oh my God. I gotta send you to the river. So I sent him to Adele. And she was like this. Okay, Lil Papi, you gotta come to this tambor over here, all right? Yesenia has notes for you. And you know, Yesenia's a doctor. Yesenia takes out her dissertation. This is what, listen, that's how that one works, and this is the power dynamics. You need to look at the history so you understand the characters you're creating. He was like, they were so smart. I was like, Cubans don't fuck around. They were like, get it right. Yeah, don't be telling stories about Orishas and don't get it right. They're still mad. Like, the Cubans are still mad at, what's his name? The playwright from Miami, the black guy. Oh my God, I can't call his name now. No, the black American guy that, whose movie was just, oh my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. No, the playwright who wrote it though. It's, yeah, well, the Cubans cussed him out because his play, Terrell McRaney, because his play, the very first one, The Brothers' Size, had Orishas in it. And it was just like, I was like, what? They just had the names Alegua. And I was like, he was just sort of like throwing it in as like an afterthought. And I was like, no, that's disrespectful. But it also would have had more depth had he known that. And so I took Adele through it. He learned a lot. I'm hoping that he'll continue working on it or resubmit it to me. But I pushed hard, I pushed hard for my Latinos, even though Adele's a fake Latino, but don't tell him that. He thinks he's Latino. I was like, dude, you're like really white. And he was like, I'm a brother. I was like, translucent, dude. Translucent. Like my father's father. You're really translucent. He's like, that's why I don't know about it. I was like, have you seen Yesenia's partner? He's like, clear, he's so white. He's a santero. But he worked really, really hard on that script. And it helped him get some connections. So Sundance is like that. And your short is your way to get introduced to them. And somebody to come out of the woodwork and go, we want to make a movie. You want to make it? Here's some money. That's how shorts work. By the end of that festival, somebody should be walking up to you saying, do you want some money? How much do you want? That's how it works. The drunk people at the party are rich people. They're looking to invest in films. I got $50,000 the other second night I was there at a party with some white people who wanted to have sex with me and Ron. We were like, no, we're not going to have sex with you, but we do have a project. They're like, but you're really beautiful. And we're like, right, you're not going to go to take the black people to bed. But there's a great script. And it was Mother of George. And they wrote us a check for $50,000. It was in our office the next week. Like Sundance is where you go to get money. Like people are just walking around with it to throw around. They're like, we like this movie so much. Oh, and we liked that movie. And they just write checks. Or you go to an eating venue, because all the venues are like hosted eating things. Some chef has a trailer over here, or some pizza shop has a special chef there. But it's all opportunities to meet people who can write you checks. That's all. That's when you see movie stars there, they have a project that they're trying to get money for. So they're schmoozing. So Sundance, Toronto, and Berlin. They're the only ones that matter. Like it depends on what your goal is. Do you want somebody to give you money to make another movie, like a feature? Do you want more acting? Like, use the festival strategically. Mm-hmm. 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 Good. Good. Yeah, because you should be collecting lots of checks now, Modesto. As far as I'm concerned, you're a superstar, and it's time to start acting like that. As far as I'm concerned, you're a superstar, and it's time for you to start acting like that. So when you take jobs, you should be getting a producer credit as well. So they give you points on the back end. Your people would be so frightened if they knew I was saying this to you. They'd be like, who have you been talking to? That crazy woman? I was like, you should be getting producer points. I believe artists should be getting 3 checks. Always. Always. Producer, actor, writer. Want to throw in director? That's what I have Jessica for. I hate directing. I know I don't like telling people what to do. I can't. I don't have the patience for it. I'm like, the fuck? Can't you act better? Like, I can't. I'm not good at it. But writer, producer, actor, 3 checks. Guess what? 3 checks as residuals. 3 checks. Every time it airs on Netflix, 3 checks. Every time it airs on Amazon, 3 checks. Like, it's colossal. It's colossal. You make so much more money. And writers make more money than anybody, especially for TV. Film directors get the accolades, but writers make serious money forever. Like, film directors get all the glamour or whatever. It's writers who are, because there's a base with writing. Like, you're in the WGA, nobody can pay you less than $25,000 to write 10 pages. It's so much more money, right? We're just talking about so much more money. And then how many platforms is that writing applicable for? Can it just be internet, or can it be internet and a play and a book? Like, so if it's applicable to lots of different platforms, you get 5 or 6 different checks, and they have to ask you if they want to adapt it to this platform. I was like, yeah. That's why all the movie stars are always producers on their films, so that they get points as a producer. Okay, so now I'm off task, but let's go back to your budget. All right, so this is what the dream, yeah? Okay, go get something. I'll be here. HBO. $15K. Okay. It's okay. So now I'm looking at, go ahead. They're like, the movie star over there in the play, can he buy something, please? Okay. All right. So this is the budget that I'm looking at. And how much is it? I have no idea about getting married. You're getting married in Puerto Rico? Of course. So you can do it cheap, right? Or are you having a big, huge wedding? You're Puerto Rican, so it's going to be like 500 people, right? So where in Puerto Rico? Oh, okay. So It would have been cheaper to get married in New York. Only because my assistant was getting married in Puerto Rico. It turned into a fiasco because, of course, all of these Puerto Rican relatives materialized. And we're like, and I have to have a table, and then we need a ballroom. And I was like, Mommy, in Puerto Rico, count on 500 people. And then a bunch of people who weren't invited to show up to eat and not bring gifts or money. And I'm sorry, in Caribbean countries, like in Italy, you need a big bowl at the wedding reception where people put money in it. You have to do it. Because I'm telling you, I have learned that we do not relate to bridal registries in the same way, or like write a check and put it in the mail. Like Caribbean people just don't do that. I was in my girlfriend's wedding. She's from Honduras. She got married in St. Thomas. When I tell you that people arrived at the hotel in St. Thomas with huge boxes of 40-pound vases, I was like, you do understand now that she has to pay for shipping for that to go back to New York. ¿Cómo? And she was like, I can't. Her hotel room, I had to stay an extra day, was full. Now his family is African and African-American. Everybody just went to Crate and Barrel and sent them something or wrote a check. All the Latinos brought huge boxes. She spent $4,000 in shipping to send it back to the mainland. And she was like, why? I was like, it's just culturally not a part of us. And so her aunt or something was like, you should have had a bowl. You should have had a bowl like the Italians do. People put money. And so the breakfast dinner, at the breakfast the next day, she did. And of course, all those people put in $50, $100, $100. And she was like, why the fuck do I have all these? And I don't mean like little presents. I mean like food processors, latte machines, Italian espresso makers. And we're like, seriously? Really? You're from Costa Rica. You're not from a jungle. You're from Honduras. You have a good job. Why are you? What? I don't trust that register. I don't trust that. So she spent $4,000 shipping stuff back. So I have learned since then, planning Caribbean weddings, to have a bowl. Our people respond to that. They won't respond to the registry, and they won't RSVP. Just so you know. I'm just. Americans hardly RSVP, pero Latinos, I mean, a web page might help. You can do a cheap page for, put up one page where you have all the information. Another thing that helps is if you don't tell people the location until they RSVP. It's a trick. You can tell them the city, but you don't tell them the venue until they RSVP. And then they get a follow-up email with all of the directions, what hotels to stay in, da-da-da-da-da. It's a way to get your numbers insured. Because my friend Ashley, I was just like, oy, coño, you're getting married in the Hyatt on the main and San Juan? Oh my God, that's a fucking bus ride. 500 people. 500 people. She was like, the day of the wedding, like I had aunts running to stores to get more food. I was like, she's like, people came in from Vieques. She's like, I don't even know anybody from Vieques. I was like, sorry, Ashley Vives. Tú eres una Vives. They're coming for your wedding. 500 people. It was incredible. So I say, don't tell the venue until they RSVP. Because they're not going to RSVP. I'm telling you right now. You're going to have to email them 3 times. And then the old people, you're going to have to call. It's going to be an event. What is your budget for your wedding? No, I was going to say 30. So let's say 30K. Okay. All right. Okay. And that includes your honeymoon?
It's 7 o'clock.
Well, check out the Coppola Resorts. They're in Belize, Guatemala, and Italy. I stayed there and I sent my friend Travis there for his honeymoon, and they took amazing care of them. It's owned by Francis Coppola. But they take care of, you don't have to think. You know, they're like, what language do you speak? Okay, we're gonna send you a guide to pick you up at the airport in your language, okay? They pick you up. When they pick you up, they have water, they have coffee, they have tea, all of your excursions, they bring meals, gourmet meal, like, it's all inclusive. And you don't have to think of anything. So go to their website. It's a very expensive place, but if they package you and you don't have to think about car rental, you don't have to think about paying for things when you're there, it ends up saving you a lot of time and money. So if you want to go, email me and I'll introduce you to the general manager. I know many things. I am a planning person, but I was there for 12 days. I spent $8,000. I went into the mountains. I went snorkeling to an island. I went down into the jungle. I went into the city. I went to the north. I went to the south, and I went to the west. The mountains, the ocean. I mean, I went all over, and they drove me. That all included driving or flying to all the places I needed to be. 3 gourmet meals a day. I have my own guide who's like spoke Cuban Spanish and English. And I told him I wanted to see the Garifuna and I wanted to go see the witch doctor in the jungle. So you need to get me somebody who can speak all those languages. And I want to go to the butterfly farm. And so I need somebody who's an Aztec. You got somebody got all that covered? And they were like, we have a guide who's half black and half Aztec. I was like, perfect. And he speaks 3 different languages. Jorge rocked my shit. He took me into the countryside with Los Indios. And he's like, no, you're not going to buy that stuff here. It was $8,000 worth it. So I sent my friends there and they were like, they wouldn't let us pay more than $6,000 for the 2 of us. I was like, for 2 weeks. It was gorgeous. And when you go to the website, you'll see it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And the general manager is just, he's Dutch, I think, or Swiss. He's wonderful. So take a look. And you don't have, it's a good place to honeymoon. There was a lot of people like getting married and on honeymoons there. I was like, I'm going to get depressed. Can I go somewhere? And my guide came to get me and he was like, you don't have to stay here. I was like, there's too many happy romantic people. Fuck this. He's like, I'm going to take you to visit the Aztecs in the mountain. I was like, how long is that going to take? 3-hour drive. I was like, okay. And he took me to a chocolate farm where Aztecs actually came out all tattooed, tapped a tree, pulled out the beans, made me chocolate. I was like, I think I'm going to marry an Aztec and live here. It's amazing. But they took amazing care. You don't have to think about anything. And people were like, $250 a night. I was like, you pay for what you get. You pay for what, and they have 3 different resorts. You have to think about nothing, like nothing. And they will work out a plan around what you want to do and your budget. But it's actually cheaper for couples. It was really expensive because I was by myself, which is totally fucked up. The world discriminates against single brujas, okay? They totally do. I was like, why am I paying $8,000? If I had some man running around, it would be like $5,000. They were like, well, because you're taking up the space of two people. I was like, and then my guy tried to marry me off in every single city. He was like, I don't understand. Well, I don't. Latino Caribbean people don't understand people who are Central American. They don't understand people who aren't married. They're like, what? Everywhere I went, people were like, well, you your husband. Yo no tengo un esposo. They were like, what? No te tengo marido. I was like, they were like, how? It was amazing. I would go to eat in a restaurant and they would bring 2 plates. I was like, there's no one. And they were like, what do you mean? Because they would talk to me in Spanish. They were like, you have a Caribbean face. Come on. I was like, no, what do you mean? And then there would be a discussion. I was like, ay, coño. So I started taking Jorge, my guide. I was like, bring your kids. We're going. I was like, I want pernil. Can we go into the mountains? He was like, got it. I didn't pay for gas. I didn't pay for anything. He completely took care of me. And I said, don't take me where the white people go. Take me where the Indians and the black people go. And he was like, okay, you ready? I was like, let's do it now. It was amazing. But you do have to make that distinction. Take me where the brown people go. Not just where the white people go. It's not really interesting. He took me to an art gallery run by Mayans. I was like, it was so amazing. It was extraordinary. And I had amazing food in the countryside. We stopped at a roadside because I had to use the bathroom. And there's these Guatemalan women, like they kneel down on these rugs to sell their stuff. And I came over and I said, hello. And they were like, oh, she's so nice. She's talked to us. You're not American. I was like, I'm American. I said, oh, come into my house. And they took me to their house and they fed me. They made tortillas in the back outside. And they made their son turn on the toilet. And they didn't have any electricity. No electricity. They farm. So they stay in that house and then they go back to Guatemala for the season. She makes her son bring in the toilet, turn it on, fill it with water so that I can use it. I was like, I could have used the outhouse. She's like, no. Why? The people were like amazing. Like just so much love. It was really an extraordinary place. I've never felt that way when I traveled. Like when I go to the Bahamas, with Caribbean people can be very hostile. I was like, and in Puerto Rico, like everybody was like, La India. If I wasn't nice enough to them, they were like, oh, negra. I was like, seriously? Really? Is the racism really like that? It was like crazy. Except in the countryside, because that's where we shot Blue Caprice. The people in the countryside were very lovely. But in the city, like, coño. Anyway, Belize, just think about Belize. It's nice. And don't go anywhere where there's terrorists. I really want to go to Morocco, but I'm like, I'd have to. Turkey's done. Your children will go visit Turkey. None of us are seeing Turkey in our lifetime. It's too dangerous. No. Go someplace where it's lots of brown people that don't care about Islam or Christianity and who aren't mad at the United States. Okay, so let's look at how much our budget is here. And this is what the dream line is all about. This is what I want to get done. Okay? LA. That plan to move to LA, I do that with my clients all the time. It's always more money than you think because you need 3 months cost of living expenses saved before you get to LA. And the car thing is an expectation that we don't have otherwise, right? And it's expensive because you're dealing with car and gas, and it's 2 of you. You should probably have 2 cars, but you can start with 1. But it is the car thing that ends up the insurance, the gas, and the purchasing a car, or you can do Rent-A-Wreck, which is crazy cheap, which I did for like a month. It was fine, $6, $7 a day. It wasn't a fancy, it was like whatever. But the insurance and the gas, I was like, you're fucking killing me. And the rent now is expensive. It's like New York. It's incredible. I was just coaching my client, Frank, who just moved there. He was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, it's like Manhattan. He's like, yeah, I have a 2-bedroom. It's $1,900 in just an okay neighborhood. I was like, he's like, and it's tiny on the ground floor with no bars or anything. I was like, he's like, I'm so glad I went with 3 months saved up. I was like, yeah, because, yeah. And do you have an agent in LA? Go to the phone. And are you going to LA anytime soon that you can take meetings with people? Mhm. Do you, is your website up to date? Because and how much English stuff do you have on your reel? Espera. Oh, because the key is a big sexy manager. And the big sexy manager gets you the big sexy agent. That's the manager's job. So if the manager isn't super connected, they're not going to really be able to get you a powerful agent, which in LA, you need a powerful LA manager and a powerful LA agent. You need both. Miami. I would like to show your website to my manager. She saw you in Good Bread Alley. And you have an impressive resume. She's gonna want to see more. She's gonna want to see more stuff in English. You know, you got filmmakers there in PR where you are. Could you put yourself on tape doing some stuff in English? Because I know that's the first thing she's gonna say. He's really good. Does he have anything in English? Because that's how she needs to sell you in LA. And Gersh has enough of an arm to get you seen for English stuff. And then all the Black American actors are gonna hate you. Why? It's always some foreigner taking the work from us. I was like, you should fucking act better. What? I mean, I've seen, oh, okay. So good. So good, man. So good. Oh, by the way, I'm writing a movie with a part in it for you, so you gotta make yourself available.
We might as well just fit with this society, and then maybe we could run those companies ourselves.
Sí, sí, no.
Why you making me watch this?
Pero mira, tómate esta pastilla. Yo me la tomo, me funciona perfectamente para mareo y te ayuda a descansar. Lo único que vas a llegar a México dormida. Ay.
You are such a hoe in this music. Oh my god. I was scandalized.
Yo no voy a perder el viaje por estar dormido. Yo me lo
Like, you got me. Just take the pill, honey. It's all gonna be great. You are very convincing Cuban man. You got that whole thing down. That thing there. So cute. Yeah, you got that Cuban thing down. Have you worked in Cuba a lot? Of course you do. You totally, like, when you act, totally Cuban. Totally. Totally. I think it's the black man thing. I think black men who are in Puerto Rico who are not around Americans feel like Cubans in their own habitat. But when they come to the United States, that New York-Rican thing is weird. It's just, and when I was in Puerto Rico and I was like, we went into some suburban neighborhoods, I was like, oh, the black men sitting outside, they felt Cuban. They really felt Cuban. But they clearly had no contact with Americans at all. That's why they felt Cuban. And the ones that had contact with Americans were like strange. I was like, you went to school in America, or you went to American school, or some, I don't even know what it is, but it's different. But people who you're like, you have never left this street or this village, have you? They're like, nope. And they're like riding their horse down a residential street past a car. I was like, there's a man on a horse, like, who just walked past the bodega. Like, how's it? And he was like this. I was like, mi gente. And like all that, we were filming there, all the white filmmaker was like, let's take a picture, there's a horse. I was like, you can't take a picture of the black man on the horse without paying him, okay? I was like, this is not National Geographic, okay? You gotta pay the black man on the horse. And they were like, well, what? I was like, because he's a black man on a horse. He has to be paid. And they were like, oh, okay. All right, so you got a lot that you want to do. You're going to really make me work, aren't you? Coño. Fuck. Uh-huh. Really? That's crazy. And your fiance, she's still in her 30s, right? Oh, you're robbing the cradle a little bit. Okay, that's all right. But she's gonna want to push a brown baby out soon, so you got to get to work. It's gonna slip up on you, man. It's gonna slip up on you. I want my black baby. Oh my God, that's so hilarious. You better be careful with that, though. She could, like, after that wedding, she could take it in the middle of the night. You know, it could be over for you. I'm just telling you. A friend of mine was like, my wife is an actress and she won't give me a baby. And I was like, Marco, what are you gonna do? He was like, I'm asking you. I want a baby. And I said, take her out for a nice dinner, get her a really expensive Santa Steph, make her drink it all, and then do a sneak attack in the middle of the night. But you gotta keep a schedule of when she's ovulating. And then she walked over and she goes, what are you two talking about? And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. 4 months later, she was pregnant. And she emailed me on Facebook, what did you say to my husband? I was like, it was good though, right? It was good, right? She was like, I am pregnant. I was like, take that black baby. And she was like, what did you do? And he just gave me a high five the last time I saw him. And she was like, you two, because she never would have stopped. She's like, I'm an actress and I'm gonna go write something and direct it. I was like, man, you're never getting a black baby. You're just gonna have to take it. And he did. He's like, I took the little app, I made sure she was ovulating, and then I did a sneak attack. And I was like, because he would be at the theater in rehearsal, waiting there for her. And then they would eat on their break dinner. Otherwise, he would never see her. And then he'd go to sleep in the car and wait for her. And I was like, this is so sad. You have no life. I was like, you got to get her out of the theater. He's like, oh, yeah, when she's doing a movie, I just sit in the car down the street from the set. I was like, oh, pobrecito, it's time for you to do something. And he was like, what? I was like, sneak attack. Sneak attack. She won't have time for diaphragm pill, nothing. So I'm just telling you that she's coming for your sperm and her black baby. So you don't have a lot of time to get this shit done. I'm just telling you, this is how it works. Latin women don't wait. She's coming. My Mexican sister-in-law, I was like, can you wait 1 month? By the time I had put my foot back on the ground in Miami, I'd been there 1 week. She texted me, I'm pregnant. I was like, coño, can you wait a minute? She's like, my God, I don't have a lot of time. I was like, tú eres mexicana, you're 21 years old. Cuídate, calm down. No, they don't wait. I'm just telling you. So if she told you she wants her black baby, you're getting married in September, she can do that shit now. You better get all this stuff done. So right now, your budget is $130,000. If it were me, I would take the sperm and have the black baby. I would. It's hard to have a black baby, you know? She's like, she knows. It's hard. So you gotta like grab the chance. Am I scaring you? Mm-hmm. A funeral? If it's not twins, she's gonna have the baby, and then you guys are gonna be like, I'm breastfeeding, I can't get pregnant, and she's gonna get pregnant again right away by accident. One of two things. So they'll practically be twins. Happens all the time. Because they say when you're breastfeeding, you can't get pregnant, but there's a lot of Cuban babies walking around. That's all I got to say. It's coming. Oh, the brujo was like 2. Ah! And they're good. And they're gonna be black, Modesto. I am just telling you this. But it's never, and of course, my niece and my nephew are not black at all. They're so pale. No. We just keep getting lighter and lighter and lighter. Because my grandfather was really white. And then my father just looks like a black man with white features, and he's yellow. And so we just keep getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And I was like, this is terrible. Where are the dark-skinned people? And my brother was like, you're light-skinned. I was like, I am chocolate brown. He was like, butterscotch or something. You better get a dark brother. I was like, but I can tell your babies, 2 chocolate boys. They're going to be chocolate. I am counting on you, Modesto, to replenish the world with chocolate babies. I have a foundation for the preservation of chocolate brown babies because it's very hard. Everybody is marrying somebody and making a translucent baby. Like, my doctor says, you need to stop calling people translucent. I was like, mira, look at them. They're like black people, but you can see their veins. Like, what? They're translucent. I was like, there's not going to be any black people left. Coño! Who's going to hold the black baby up to the moon? Come on. Oh, my God. So it's your sole responsibility, Modesto. 2 chocolate boys so they can make chocolate boys. Okay? Get to work. There you go. So this budget is $130,000. That doesn't include the radio station. I would estimate that meeting with them would be 20 hours of your time. Let's look at, and your cost of living from this Dreamline thing was what? So this is for the month, 11, 10, 1443. Okay, 1443, and that's everything. Car, transportation, whole living. Yes? 1443 times 12 equals $137,316. So you need to make $267,000 a year. All right, I'm not done. So cost of living plus Dreamline budget is 130. Plus 137, 316. Equals, is that 267 roughly. 267, 316. Okay. Now, 397, 316. Is that what that? Did I go right? 130 plus 137, 316 equals $267,000, 316 cents. Divided by 12 equals $22,000 a month. Okay? Divide that by, so that becomes 22,276.33 per month is how much you need to make. If you divide that up by weeks, it's $5,569.08 per week. How many hours a week do you want to work? You want to work a 40-hour week? You can work less. What, in your perfect scenario, what amount of time would allow you to spend the kind of quality time with your family that you want, read, relax, work out, and still have balance? That's what I would say. Your hourly rate is $222.76. That's how much your time is worth. What that means is anything that is not paying you that, you can't do. Because that's how much you need to make this life happen. So, did you finish your 4-hour work week? Go back to the phone. Okay. So, you need to start thinking about reducing the things in your life. Here's an example. So, I have an audition tomorrow. And I told my manager, my hourly rate for private coaching is $4.25 an hour now. I was like, that's how much I need to live the life I want. And so whenever she sends me out for an audition, I say, okay, I'm teaching, I'm writing a film, I'm producing 2 other films. I don't want to give up my private clients. I want to work out. Okay. If this job is not paying me $4.25 an hour, then I can't go to this audition. And how do I tally that? It's going to take me an hour to get there on the subway. It's going to take me 2 hours to read the script. It's going to take me an hour to get off book and be memorized. Where are we at now? 1 hour, 3, 4. Then I got to do the audition, get back home. That's 5 hours. It's 5 hours of preparation. Then I got to do the job if I book it, which is 3 days. Okay. Am I making $4.25 an hour? The 3 days, 24 hours, let's say that's 24 hours plus my 5, that's 30 hours I'm going to give to this audition. I book it. Am I making $4.25 an hour? That's how I decide to use my time. Time is money. So if it's going to take me 30 hours of my time, 30 times $4.25 equals $12,750. If this TV show is not going to make me that, then I can't do it. That's how he gets you to make time equal money. Because we waste tremendous amounts of time. But if you have a set of goals in front of you that you want to reach, you can't waste money or time. You just can't. And the quality of your life is everything. And Tim Ferriss is like, I'd much rather make my, $400 an hour than work on making $3 million a year. Because $3 million a year means I need to work 90 hours a week. And I don't want a life like that. I want a life in which I actually live. So you have to make your time equal money and live within what you want to dream about. Because contrary to popular belief, people are like, oh, if I had millions of dollars. Right. If you had millions of dollars, you would have to pay a bunch of people to help you manage that. You would spend tons of time trying to hold on to that $1 million. Like, it's not nearly as easy as people think. So your time is to, and what this generally means is that there's lots of theater you won't be doing. But here's what I can tell you about theater. This is what I take into account with theater. The Actors Equity Insurance is the most extraordinary health insurance in the world. It covers everything, 100%. You go to the hospital, 100% of your stay in a private room. You need MRI, you need X-ray, you pay for nothing. No other health insurance is like that. So if I decide, oh, I'm going to take this theater job, I can only take it if it's going to take me to the point where I get health insurance. So that means I need 2 jobs lined up for this year. Because how I calculate that, if I had to pay for the kind of health insurance that I get with equity, I would have to pay $1,000 a month. That's $12,000 a year. So I go, how much am I making for this job? Oh, I only make $4,000 from the job, but let's add that $12,000 from health insurance. Okay, this actually might be worth my time. That's how, but only if it's going to get me health insurance. Otherwise, it's not really, if it's Broadway, Broadway's worth it because you're going to get health insurance. All of the runs are long enough. Plus, you get paid into your pension. So on a Broadway contract, the producer will match whatever your contribution is. So it's a real, like, I stacked out my pension. I just took half my paycheck. It's just like, $800, take it, go. Put that in my pension, and the employer met it. It was worth it. So that's my rule for theater. And I always tell people, fucking do theater, then you're not here to do movies and TV. But if it's going to get you health insurance, because SAG insurance is not that great. I'm sorry. It covers 80%, and now you have a family, you have to think about this shit. Okay, if it only covers 80% of a hospital stay, and you're having 2 little black babies in like 3 minutes, you're having them, okay? So that's done. Say she has to go to the hospital and stay. She has to have a C-section. And SAG insurance is only paying 80% of a $300,000 hospital stay. Okay, how much does that leave left? Okay. What's 0.8 times $300,000? So it will pay $240,000. The other $60,000 for your 2 little black boys you will have to come up with in a check. So health insurance is no fucking joke. And most insurances only cover 80% of stuff. And when you have a family, you have to think about that shit now. I made Jessica think about this. I was like, what are you doing? You're like trying to have whoa. 1 hospital stay. Her daughter was in the hospital for 2 weeks. It almost wiped them out. Wiped them out. They were like, I got to take a second mortgage. Because SAG only pays 80%. And it was life or death. Like they had to operate on her. Sadie needed operation. And so I did a GoFundMe, and she was like, this is an outrage that we pay all of this money for our health insurance and it only pays 80%. And then they didn't want to pay for an extra x-ray at the hospital. You're like, you need to do the x-rays before you operate on a child. They were like, we need you to write a check for $10,000 right now so we can do this x-ray. And she was like, she's like borrowing money. I was like, 1 hospital stay. It wiped them out for 2 years. Because it was closer to $500,000. It was outrageous. And then there were a couple of doctors who worked with actors in LA who volunteered their time for one of the surgeries so that they wouldn't have to come up with another $200,000. It was really, she's like, oh my God. She's like, insurance is real. I was like, yeah, 1 stay. can knock you out. So you have to think about it. And so I told her, I was like, you need to write 4 more plays, put your husband in the play so you have equity insurance. It's like, because, you know, I'm like doing a desperate GoFundMe where I need $10,000 today. People came through. People gave us $15,000 in 2 days. But like, she needed emergency surgery. She was gonna die. Like, so these are things you have to think about. So I made Jessica write a play, and I was like, you make your husband go do those equity weeks and get that health insurance now. She was like, okay, because you gotta pay for private school too soon. So we live in America. You gotta pay for this shit. It's fucked up, but there it is. So you gotta make a lot of money really soon. You gotta get an agent in LA. You gotta get an agent in LA. Let's talk about that. Nope, let's talk about this. So I want you to look at the top 25 TV shows on television right now. I have a list, but the top 25 changes all the time. It changes all the time. Off the top of my head, let's just do it. When you're making scenes for an agent, here's the thing. You need to show them how you can make them money. So you need to pick something from shows that are currently on television that you would actually be on. So you're taking this moment to be a teaching moment for them. So I did, do you know Juan Francisco Villa? He's a dear friend of mine. Is this reel up? I'm gonna kick his ass if his reel isn't up. No, he doesn't have it up. So I built a reel for him. I think it's on my, and we picked from things that are on now that are hot. And I partnered him with actors, and we shot it like an indie film. That's actor reels. And it needs to be high quality. No, we don't need Pedrito. It's not helping us. I don't know why I can't find this right now. It's not down there. I don't know where I put these reels. Ay, coño. Wait. No. Shit. I'm gonna have to find this and send you the link so you can look at these. I think they might be on the Badass Actors sales page, actually. So So I want you to Google top 25 television shows in America right now. And come up with a list.
You wanna go first?
Okay.
Right here. Hi. Yeah, actually, you can go first.
I want this. Oh, it's not hidden in navigation. Okay. It's on the free class page. Here's all of the reels.
You wanna go first?
My name is. Right here. Hi. Yeah, actually, you can go first.
My name is Marcus Villa. Just completed the Badass Actor Showcase with April Yvette Thompson. Actually, it's taken me a few years to take the class, and I reached.
Okay.
I should be out there doing my job.
Your job is out there waiting for you, detective. The question is, how badly do you want it?
You with the department? You a shrink?
I was on the job 15 years. I left to become a psychologist. I'm with the Peer Assistance Program. I'm a volunteer.
Well, how about I volunteer my way out of this chair, tell you to kiss my ass, and go talk to my union rep?
Well, you could do that, sure. But your inspector would guarantee that you stay at your desk, and the only time you see the street is in the parking lot, or when you go to get coffee, or look out the window.
So that's from Luke Cage.
Manly.
This is from Grey's Anatomy.
I'm
We shot this all in the same apartment. I just got a good
Dr.
filmmaker,
Shepard about your
good lighting,
surgery.
and hair and makeup. And then this one we shot like an indie film from Rachel Getting Married. And then this one was from Master of None.
Right.
We shot it like in a nightclub.
Hey.
The same apartment, actually. It was just about
Why are
lighting.
you mad at me? Your beef is with Brad Honeycutt.
So we basically took shows that are on television right now that are hits that they're really right for, and I directed them. You know some filmmakers, you don't need a good director. You know how to handle the camera. You're a fucking star. So, said April, and I'm always right. Okay. You saw that, right? Okay, great. So you're gonna make a list of 25 shows. Okay? Now, and you're going to start watching an entire season of each show. Okay? And I want you to pick scenes that you identify with the character. They don't need to be the same race as you. As a matter of fact, it's probably a good idea if they're not. But someplace you look at the character and you're like, that is in the pocket for me. Pull that scene. I would look at Sense8, season 1. Oh my God. So do you have an older brother named Modesto the First that you can just send to me? Just send him to me. Do you have an older brother named Modesto the First that you could just send to me? Just put him in a box. I'll feed him. I'll cook for him. I'll do everything that needs to be done. Sense8 has some great characters. Like not season 2, season 1. The guy from the African actor, he's really British. He's magic. he's like magic. He changes the air. Him and the Korean woman. Like, you're like, what the fuck is she doing? Like, what does she do? She looks like she's doing nothing, but she's doing everything. It's extraordinary. It's just some extraordinary writing and some extraordinary acting. So that even the guy from Spain, I forget his name, he can't act. He's so hammy, but I love him in telenovelas. I love him in Gala. He can't act, but come on. Have you seen Las Galerías Velvet? Oh my God. It's so good. I'm such a telenovela whore. It's so good. It's on Netflix. He's the star of that. And, you know, he's very schmacky. So you're like, whatever, he can't act. He's got some muscles the gay boys like and keep it moving. Okay. They get a little beefcake on there, whatever, keep it moving. All the other actors around him are so strong. Doesn't matter. But look for some scenes there. 3%, coño. Coño. 3% is extraordinary. It's a Brazilian sci-fi show. It takes place supposedly in a post-apocalyptic world. The writing is extraordinary, and it's on Netflix. You'd need to translate the scenes, but that's fine. Do you speak Portuguese? Of course you do, because you're Modesto and you know everything. What is your fiance's name? Ana Teresa is very lucky, and she needs to teach a class on how to get the one. And if she teaches that class, you tell her, I will take that class. How to get the perfect chocolate man, okay? Who's like a Renaissance man, okay? So tell her to teach the class. I will pay whatever. I'll even get it enrolled. She knows what to do. She knows what to do. I told Jessica, I was like, Modesto's getting married. And she was like, yo, that bitch got game. I was like, right? It made Jessica get ghetto. She was like, she's like, because he like changes the air and shit. He's all like metrosexual, Renaissance, Paul Robeson, black man, 14 languages and shit. I was like, yeah, bitch. She was like, that girl got game. She's like, you need to find out what she did. I was like, well, first you have to find one like that. Like, they don't make them in villages all over the place. There's probably one like in the mountains somewhere in Sudan or like in Cuba, living like in a village somewhere picking cane. But like, yeah, there are not a lot of them. Reading poetry in the dark by candlelight. Okay. My imagination is going away. Okay. So 3% on Netflix. Oh my God. The writing's amazing. Once you start watching it, you won't be able to turn it off. I'm trying to think. Extraordinary. Scandal. You need me to coach you on the scenes. Scandal scenes are really hard because they're like this. They're like Shakespeare, and it's super fast. That and House of Cards. Amazing. That acting is really hard too, because it's like, and the casting director here, I'm seeing her tomorrow. She's really great about teaching you how to handle the material, because it's not like acting you've done before. She's like, you're throwing it away, but you're still being precise, and you're doing almost nothing, and it happens really fast, but you can't just talk fast. I was like, it's fucking hard. And she's like, yeah. And it's not like the rest of television. It's not like 2 lines. It's a paragraph that you have to get out in one breath, like Shakespeare. It's without doing too much. It's complicated acting. I've even talked to Reg Cafe. Do you know? Are you talking about Reg? Oh, that really white guy. He's like the whitest person you've ever seen. Really cute. Blonde, pointy nose. Oh, he's so cute. He is really cute. Even though he's really white. white. He's so cute. You could tell him I said so. I'm sure he knows that. But I was like, that is the whitest man I've ever seen. That's really good casting. And he's very... So, you can pull off one of those scenes. I've coached lots of people. They're hard to pull off. But if you can pull them off, whoo, fabulosa. Okay. And the good thing is you have the same advantage that British actors have that works against African-American actors. African-American actors can only play black people. That's all they can do. And black people, where they're from. They can't play anybody different from themselves. Whereas being a black person from a different country, you actually are accustomed to adapting to other things. And that's why people are always like, you call them British actors. I was like, that's right. And then I'm going to write a movie and I'm going to get all Latin actors that are black because they do the fucking work. But like American actors are like, these are our 4 types that we play and it's all we can do. Which is why there's not a lot of crossover with even black actors getting roles that were written for white guys because they can't pull it off. They only know how to play their type. And they're very uncomfortable being shifted from that. It was very hard casting Good Brett Allen. Very hard. And I still didn't get what I wanted. I was like, I needed like 2 more Haitian actors. I needed non-Americans. I could not, everybody still, even in the readings, everyone felt too American. And you've been to Miami. My world, people don't feel like that. They feel like they're from this village. Even the Gullah people, they just, everybody felt too much like a black American and less African. And I was like, but they couldn't do it. Like asking people to step outside of it, they were uncomfortable. Angela went there. She was like, oh, I get it. I was like, she's a child from the 40s. She doesn't know anything. You have to like lose yourself in that. She got it. The people who did the workshop at New York Stage and Film, of course, it was a lot of foreign black people though. It was very, American blacks just, you know, I'm gonna play the old black woman. I was like, she's a bruja. What are you doing? Like, she has power. She ain't no old slave. They just didn't, they had nothing to reference it from. Which is the limitation. And because you have an accent, they're not going to send you out for black man number 4. So you can become anyone you want. And I would like you to find scenes that are transformative like that, because you can do that. We already got enough black men being black men, or whatever that means in America, which is very strange. It's very strange. It's very limited and it's very uninteresting. Like Idris Elba is, you know, he acts like a criminal in real life. He's like a thug. You would never know that in his acting. Never. It's transformative. American actors can't do that. They can. Forget about it. I was like, you and that Dominican that you did, I wanted to slap you. I was like, how is he doing that? That's incredible. Like, Dominican is so hard. They're like Congolese, but like on drugs. They're so different. It's just you and Jeffrey Wright. He's the only one. I was like, and Jeffrey Wright did it without even speaking Spanish. I was like, because Dominicans scare me. They're very scary people. Like, oh my God. I went home with Juan for Christmas. I love his family. He and I have been friends for like 10 years. And he has Dominicans in his family that have married into his family. They looked at me like I was a ham that had been brought in to feed people. They didn't say hello. His mother was like, bueno, yeah, hello, you know, come have an empanada, let's go. They were like, where you from? I was like, oh my God. In this incomprehensible Spanish, like completely incomprehensible. And I was like, and then I respond, they were like, speak to me in our language. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, Juan. And Juan was like, they're just so happy that another Black person is coming to the family. They think I'm marrying you. I was like, that's happy? He's like, that's Dominican happy. I was like, but they're looking over, they look like they want to kill me. And they're really Black, really beautiful, but like this. And then one just came over and grabbed my arm and was like, come sit with me. I was like, they're crazy. Oh my God, you totally got them. I mean, like, you totally crazy, completely neurotic. I was like, what? I can't explain it. They frightened me. And you had that quality of, he's very charming, but he could kill someone. Like, he's going out the door to kill somebody right now. You got that. It was very frightening, but very exciting. It's very exciting. I was like, damn. Yeah, you probably need a Dominican in your repertoire because they're extra. House of Cards. You did. Only you're not crazy. You're really like calm in real life. They're not like that. But you're calm. You're a calm person who's going to show up to the set with no drama and do your work. It's hard to get that in a Dominican. So you're the perfect one. You can act like a Dominican, but you don't show your ass like a Dominican. You show up to set on time, ready to go. Dominicans, they'll be in the chair, getting the makeup done for 20 minutes, not know their lines, won't know their mark, they waste your time, and want to fight. Oy, coño. They're very frightening people. I really, like, I can't with them. I told Juan, I was like, I love your mom. I love your sister. I'm not very sure that I can go to your house for holidays. She's like, they totally asked for you. I was like, your Dominican relatives are horrifying. One of them grabbed me. Juan, you didn't even do anything. He was like, I thought it was really funny. They were like, I was like, you thought it was funny? Because he's grabbing me. He was like, finally, some more Black people in his family. I was like, oh my God, who says that? Who talks like that? This man had never met me. He grabbed me like, I'm coming here to buy a bride. Okay. They're crazy people. All right, House of Cards. Look at Westworld. Look at Game of Thrones. Play somebody otherworldly. What dialects can you do? What dialects can you do? Really, you can do that dialect because it's distinctive. Okay. Very good to know. You should get a British accent down. Like down. You should get a British accent. Down. You'd work a lot. You could take some of those British guys' work and they'll be like, this motherfucker, who is he? He just got, wait a minute. They'll be like mad. They'll be like, wait. Who's this new guy, son? Game of Thrones. I would look at Game of Thrones, find a really interesting character, and try and find a standard British dialect. But where we're going to start with is scenes. So I want you to watch these shows. I want you to pull scenes from them and transcribe them. And then before our next class, I want you to email me these scenes. And then you're going to find a filmmaker and you're going to shoot the reel. And once you shot the reel, I'm going to set up a meeting for you with my manager. Plan in action. Now you see how much money you got to make? Okay. So next week, I want you to come up with some things to generate money that don't eat up your time. And did you do the video about your brand? I can't hear you because you don't have the phone to your ear. I said you can either do it, you can either send it to me, or I can do it during class. Okay, so don't I have a 15-minute with you tomorrow? We can do it then. Okay, perfect. Questions? I'm always going to give you a lot of work. And you have to get subtitles for your film. I would say get a professional who can find like the quality of being idiomatic in Spanish and like find the American equivalent. And even then, if a producer looks at it, we're like, give me something else. Give me something else. Let's flush through that. Give me something else. I mean, because like when Gun Hill Road was subtitled, Rashad was there. Film by film, like scene by scene by scene. He sat next to the translator. He's like, because I don't want to lose the sense of what that means in the Bronx. I don't want to lose that weight. And Rashad does not speak Spanish, so that was really a challenge. I was like, Coño, man, you don't speak, you're Puerto Rican. Tons of Black Puerto Ricans in New York don't speak Spanish, but it took a really long time. So yeah, have her do it. And then we'll watch it. And if I feel like the subtitles are janky, I'll be like, okay, we got to make it more relaxed. But that's like that's an aesthetic thing that like the director has to look at and be like, does that feel right? And usually ask your producers as well, right? Does that feel, am I communicating this American thing? And I'll look at it and I'll tell you if it's communicating that. Because sometimes you just need to go into the American vernacular. And I see a lot of times in translations that they don't do that. And it's okay if it's period, you know. But sometimes I'm watching Galeria's Velvet and I'm like, oh no, oh no. The Heart of the Moon. I'm like, no, who translated that? It's so bad. Or they skip over fundamental meanings that would have made the scene like a cliffhanger. And I was like, you didn't translate that properly. You were too literal, so I know what the character's gonna do next. And I have my American friends watching this and they're like, how the fuck do you know this? I'm like, I'm a producer. I'm looking at it like an artist. I'm like, yes, but what he said in Spanish just then was just so much more, it floored you. It was so beautiful. Like, and then what happened in English? It made him look like very melodramatic bad guy instead of poetic. So sometimes that happens in translations. And the director just has to change it. You know, so pay her, make sure she works fast, and then we'll look at it and I'll be like, no, go to the vernacular. Because maricón has lots of different meanings. Puta de madre has lots of different, like, it's different things. I've recently found out it's something different in Miami too. I was like, oh, okay, I can't keep up. The Colombians in Miami, it means something different for them. They use it differently than people from Spain. And Cubans, I never hear Cubans saying it at all. And I'm like, ay, coño, this is complicated. So Who does the transcriptions for Pedro Almodovar's movies? Because like, you see that movie? Did you see that movie with Javier Bardem, Beautiful? I thought the subtitles were awful. It took me out of the movie. Really took me. He was much more poetic. He was much more Pablo Neruda, and the subtitles didn't communicate that. Whereas, I need to let you go, pero I'll send you these notes, and there's two movies I want you to look up and see if you can find out who the translators were. It should be in IMDb. Okay? Lots of work to do. See you tomorrow. Bye.